Good morning Year 6, I hope you're all well. This time I'd like to introduce you to a few more members of staff, also show you a few more areas of the school so you can become familiar with those, and I'd like to go through a presentation that I would normally share when either our non-feeders visit us here at Wales High School or I come out and visit you at your feeder primary school. And so lots of information to share today, and I hope you'll find it all valuable and useful in preparing for September. Over the next few minutes, I'd like to share some additional information about your new school. Ordinarily, I would present this information when I visit you as part of your extra transition visits when I come out to your primary schools. I can't do that at the moment, and so this seems to be the best way for me to be able to share some additional information with you about Wales High School. What I'd also like to say is some of this you may already know because it's been shared in the transition workbook, in the bulletins and my weekly emails to your parents and carers. To start off with, it's important you know a little bit about the structure of the school. You will all be used to having a head teacher at your primary school, and so Wales High School is no different in that we have a head teacher, and our head teacher is Mr. Diazio. He's supported by an associate head teacher, Miss McCall. We also have a deputy head teacher and assistant head teachers that are part of what we call the senior leadership team of the school. You'll notice I've put myself there and my title as head of lower school. My role is to make sure you have the best possible transition, but also to continue that transition into year 7, 8 and 9. And at Wales High School, lower school means year 7, 8 and 9. And so I will work with your head of year and the pastoral team for the first 3 years of your time at Wales. You will also have a pastoral team that consists of Mrs. Roberts Commons as your head of year, Mr. Day and Miss Wade as your deputy heads of year. They are going to work very hard to support your needs and to make sure you have the best possible opportunities at Wales. Mrs. Roberts Commons will be a phenomenal head of year to you, as will Mr. Day and Miss Wade in making sure they support you. Now, Mrs. Roberts Commons, Mr. Day and Miss Wade are all teaching members of staff. Mrs. Roberts Commons teaches RE, Mr. Day teaches science, and Miss Wade teaches English. That means there are times during the day when they might not be available to help and support because they will be teaching other students in their different subject areas. That's where the amazing Miss Cloak comes in. As your pupil support assistant, Miss Cloak will be the one that's on call pretty much all the time to help and support year 7. And so she will be mainly based in the year 7 office, but will be in and out of your lessons and will be making sure that things are going as well as they possibly can during your school day. Miss Cloak will also be perhaps the first person that your parents and carers speak to if they arrange to come into school or phone into school to speak to a member of the pastoral team. Perhaps the most important part of your pastoral team is actually the team of tutors that you will see every morning. It's really important for your start in September that you know that, for example, if you're in 7-4, your tutor will be Miss Burrows. If you're in 7-7, your tutor will be Miss Drayton, or 7-11, Miss Lee. And those are just 3 examples. But on your first day, we will all meet together and then you will leave with your tutor. Your tutor will be the person that takes your register every single day. I know lots of you want to know more about the school. Wales High School has just over 1,850 pupils on roll. And when you join us in September, you will be part of one of the largest year groups in the school. There'll be about 320 year 7s in your year group. That means for most of you that your year 7 will actually be bigger than your current primary school. We have just over 180 teachers, over 100 support staff, over 100 classrooms, sports halls, gym, fields, tennis courts, lots of facilities for you to use. This seems a perfect opportunity for me to introduce you to some of our support staff that are currently working in school and preparing for your induction in September. And so over the next few minutes, our pupil reception team and our finance team would like to say hello.
Good morning, welcome to Wales High School. This is student reception and I'm Mrs. Firth. If you're unwell, if you need some help, any kind of query, please come to student reception and we'll do whatever we can to help. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Denton. I work in student reception and attendance. Looking forward to seeing you all soon.
Hi Year Sixes, I'm Mrs. Esberger. Looking forward to seeing you all in school in September.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Miller, the attendance officer for Wales High School. Hi, I'm Mrs. Seal. I work in student reception. So if you're ever poorly or you don't know where you're going and you've got lost, come and see us down at student reception.
Hi Year 6, welcome to Wales High School. I'm Mrs Carol Brooks, work in the finance office. We look forward to seeing you. Hopefully you'll be here before much longer.
Hello Year 6, I'm Mr Dunker. I'm the management accountant at the school. Welcome to Wales High School.
Hi Year 6, I'm Miss Parnham. I work in the finance office. Can't wait to meet you all.
Hi Year 6, I'm Mrs Sabine and I work in the finance office at Wales High School. Wishing you all a great summer and looking forward to seeing you all in September. Bye for now.
Hello Year 6, I'm Mrs Helen Brooks. Welcome to Wales High School.
Hello Year 6, I'm Mrs Macmillan. I work in the finance office. Looking forward to seeing you all in September.
As head of lower school, one of the most important things that I will expect from you from September is that you will look as smart as possible. And I actually think you have to try hard to get our uniform wrong. Our uniform is very simple. Black trousers, grey or black skirt, Wales High School blazer with our school badge, white shirt and our school tie. That's simple to me and it's something that every child can get right. I know when I go out and visit other schools, I see uniform that's not as well presented as Wales High School's uniform. I want you to feel proud when you put on your Wales High School tie, when you wear your Wales High School blazer. I personally feel proud to walk through our school and see our students looking so smart. And so I expect you to uphold those high standards as well when you're at Wales High School. Of course, another part of the uniform is to make sure you have the appropriate footwear as well. And I know that lots of primary schools allow you to wear trainers or shoes that look like trainers. At Wales, we don't accept those types of footwear, and it's important that you are wearing the sort of shoe that I would expect you to go to a wedding to. What I would call, and I'm sorry it's bad English, a proper school shoe. A school shoe that looks really smart. Now, of course, from time to time, there are some students that try and push those boundaries. They might say they can't find their shoes. I would always be more than happy to let any pupil borrow a pair of my shoes. And so in my office, I have something that I like to call Harrison's World of Shoes, full of black shoes that are appropriate for school. PE kit is also part of our uniform, and a few weeks ago you will have received a letter from Mrs Tripoli to let you know which house you will be in at Wales High School. Our houses are Rollo, Bewsley, Warren and Mortain, and as you will notice from the picture that's on the screen, those different houses are all represented by a particular house colour. Something else that lots of our Year 6s have to adjust to is a new school day. And for lots of you, a school day that's longer than you're used to at your current primary school. We expect all pupils to be on site for 8:25 and we give you 5 minutes to get to registration where your tutor will greet you in the morning and take your register. And as you'll notice, that registration lasts 20 minutes until the first lesson. Now, registration will involve lots of important information, as well as things like active tutorials and assemblies for you to be involved in. Our first lesson starts at 8:50, and each lesson throughout the day lasts 1 hour, with a morning break at 10:50 and lunchtime at 1:10. Our school day ends at 2:55, except on Mondays when we have a 6th lesson, which means we finish at 3:55. Throughout Year 7, I want you to work as hard as you possibly can. I want you to strive to be the very best you can be. I want you to work hard in class. I want you to hand in excellent homeworks. I want you to show excellent effort and make the best possible progress to reach your targets. All of those things can be achieved in class. In tutor time, you can strive to have the best attendance, make sure you have the correct equipment and uniform, take part in extra activities, and make sure that if your tutor gives you a letter to hand in the next day, that you hand those letters in the next day. Now, those are all things that I would expect any Year 7 to get right straight away. And if you're not sure about any of those things, we will help you and guide you. Now, if you do get those things right, we will award you achievement points. And one of the things that Mrs. Roberts-Commons will talk to you about is how to get those achievement points and the sorts of things that we will reward you for on our achievement point system. Now, we use something called Go for Schools, which means that when you hand a piece of homework in, it will appear as an achievement point on Go for Schools. If you've got a piece of homework, that will appear on Go for Schools. And just as a word of warning at this stage, not only will you be able to see your homeworks on Go for Schools, but also your parents and carers will also be able to see them. So there's no getting away with saying, I've got no homework, because it will be there for everyone to see on Go for Schools. Now, if you look at the right-hand side of the screen now, you will see a wonderful bar chart that's nearly all green. However, there are some red lines on that bar chart, and those refer to the negative points, because just as we have achievement points, we also have behaviour points. And so if, for example, something went wrong, maybe you shouted out 2 or 3 times during a lesson, that's not acceptable. That will be logged as a behaviour point. And so if something went wrong, that information will also go on Go for Schools, which means, again, you'll be able to see it, but also your parents and carers. Now, one other thing that lots of you will have to get used to is having a timetable and following it. At the moment, most of you are based in one classroom with one teacher every single day. That will, of course, change when you move to Wales High School, because you'll have 5 lessons every day, 6 lessons on a Monday, and they'll all be in different classrooms. Hopefully you've seen in Transition Workbook 1 that our timetable looks very similar to the one on the screen. We've got the days of the week across the top, the lesson numbers on the left-hand side, and in each square you will see the lesson, next to it the room, and underneath that the staff initials. What you will get on your first day in September is a timetable that looks like the one on the screen, but actually just underneath it, it will tell you that LBA is Mrs. Bass. It will tell you that JAQ is Mr. Asquith, that JWR is Miss Wright. And so you will know who those members of staff are. The initials will help you if you need to email your members of staff, but we will tell you their names so you know how to address them in your lessons. Now, on that timetable, hopefully you'll also notice that most of the lessons are in a room that relates to that lesson. And so, for example, English is in classroom E13, English room 13. Science is in S12, Science classroom 12. History is in H4, History classroom 4. Now, lots of you have told me that you're worried about getting lost. Most Year 6s are. But if you think about it, you don't necessarily always need to know exactly where that classroom is. you just need to know the area of the school. So for example, if you're making your way to E13, then you'll know that E13 is in the English block. Now, if I'm being really honest with you, Year 6, I've worked at Wales almost 15 years. I don't know exactly where E13 is. I'm a history teacher. I don't really go to English that often. But I know if I make my way to English and I'm outside E10 or even E3 or E4, I know I'm not that far away from E13. And so you will soon find your way around the school as long as you know those key areas, that you know that history is at the top of the tower block, that English is over in the Millennium block at the far end of the school, that PE is at the opposite end of the school, and you will soon find your way around. I will also make sure that for your first day, you have a map of the school to help you with getting used to those different areas of the school building. Now, I've already told you that you will be in a year group that has just over 320 pupils. One of the best pieces of advice I can give you right now is to get involved, to make sure that if you're interested in something, you go to one of our clubs. Because if you love history and you go to history club, then you will meet other people that love history and are at history club. If you are into drama and performing arts, if you go to drama club, you will meet other people who are interested in drama, and you will create some amazing friendships by getting involved and going to as many different events as you possibly can. That includes house events where you'll have the opportunity to represent your house. Now, having said all of that, some of our clubs might not be available straight away in September because we still need to limit our movement around the school, and there'll be more information on that in the next few weeks. However, once the clubs start again, you should be getting as involved as you possibly can. Lots of our Year 7s also worry about having somewhere to go that is just for them, somewhere that's away from the Year 11s or the Year 10s, which might appear far too old and quite scary. They're not, and they will actually want to help. However, I understand that lots of you will really appreciate having your own space. And so we have at Wales something we call the Year 7 area with games, beanbags, playstations. That's your space at lunchtime if you want to use it. If you want somewhere that you don't have to see the older children, that's just for Year 7, with members of the Year 7 pastoral team there if you need to find them at lunchtime. I've noticed lots of you asking questions about our catering and the different types and variety of food available in our lunch hall. If you go to our Wales High School website, click on Parents at the top, and then follow the link to catering, you'll be able to view all the menus to see the variety of different options available on a weekly rota system. Here's our catering team who want to say their own quick hello.
Hi, I'm Michael, this is Kevin. We're looking forward to seeing you in September, to producing some lovely food for you. We've got everything you can think of, so we'll see you when you come. Have a great day.
I know lots of you have asked about the school rules, and we'll go through the school rules with you in detail in September. However, there are some questions that lots of you have asked that I want to cover in the following few points. Mobile phones are allowed in school, but you are not allowed to have your mobile on the corridor or in the classroom. And so if your phone was to go off in a classroom, then your teacher would ask to keep it at the very least until the end of the lesson. If not, hand it to your head of year for you to collect at the end of the day. So even though you're allowed to have your phone, it needs to be switched off. Now at break and lunchtime and in the communal areas such as the dinner hall, you are allowed to have your mobile phone and you are allowed to use it in those spaces. Headphones are not allowed in school unless you are in one of the communal spaces. So you're not allowed to have your headphones plugged in, for example, when you're travelling on the corridor between lessons, because a teacher would stop you and they would challenge that. Coats, hoodies and caps. Of course we want you to have a coat, but when you're in the school building, that coat should be off. Hoodies and caps are not allowed in school and shouldn't be worn. Again, if a member of staff was to see you with those things, they would take them off you. Jewellery, makeup, nail polish, not allowed. The only jewellery you would be allowed to wear would be a watch and plain studs in your ears. I've included bus behaviour there because I know that lots of you will be travelling to school on the bus. And so it's just as important that your behaviour is spot on perfect on the bus as it is in school. We actually say that when you're on that bus, you are representing Wales High School. You are wearing our uniform. And so if something was to go wrong on the bus or your behaviour wasn't as good as it should be, then your head of year, Mrs. Roberts Commons, will be speaking to you about that when you arrive at school. Lots of you have also asked me about lockers. In the summer, your parents will receive a letter that allows them to register for a locker online and pay for that locker for the year. We will give you a locker key and a locker number in September, so you'll know exactly where your locker is because your tutor will show you the different areas of the school. Something else that lots of you will have to adjust to is making sure you pack your bag ready for school. And hopefully you will have seen from Transition Workbook 1 that there are 5 things I expect every child to have every single day. You will need a pen, a pencil, a ruler, a scientific calculator, and a reading book. Every day we would expect you to have those things, and your tutors will be checking that you have those minimum things in your bag as part of registration every morning. Now, if for whatever reason you've forgotten a pen or a pencil, let us know. Let your tutor know, because the last thing we want is you go into a lesson and saying you've not got a pen. And so we want to make sure every day you're equipped for learning and you have the things that you need. Hopefully, I've been able to share a few hints and tips there about the sorts of things that will help you to get it right at Wales High School. I also know that lots of you want to see a little bit more of the school, and so over the next few minutes I want to share a few other areas with you so you can become even more familiar with your new school.
I hope you found that useful today. Lots of information shared and hopefully lots of bits of information and hints and tips that will help you in preparation for September. As always, if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to email us, transition@waleshigh.com, and a member of the team will get back to you. Please keep checking your emails. Please keep up to date with Transition on Twitter and also our YouTube Transition channel as well, where we'll be releasing even more resources over the next couple of weeks. Take care everyone, stay safe, and hopefully we'll get a chance to meet in the not too distant future.